6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events most of all. Thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, and of course, beautiful day in the world of Ron Siegel Radio. We are celebrating today National California Day. Okay.
It is what it is.
It goes all up here from here, baby. How about National Cook a Sweet Potato Day? Yeah, we like that one. Although it is also National Margarita Day. So, get a sweet potato and a margarita. Can we do both of those today? That sounds like a good idea to me. Hey, let's take a look and see what the markets are doing. Dow Jones now up 23 points. What a whipsaw that's been. It was down significantly earlier. The NASDAQ down 22. I'm sorry, the S&P is down 22. The NASDAQ is down 240 points. Ow! That's painful. Oil up $1.78 a barrel. Why is that happening? Well, you know why it's happening. That's all. That has to do with government policy. Now, you're right. I hear this all the time. The president does not set the price of oil. The government doesn't set the price of gasoline. The president doesn't set that. Just by coincidence, right after President Biden was inaugurated, the price of gasoline goes up. No, the president doesn't set the price, but the policy affects supply and demand, which does set the price. Right? You close down the pipeline, stop the fracking, stop the U.S. energy independence, create more dependence on OPEC, on other people that hate us. And yes, gasoline prices will go up. So we look at the gas prices on a regular basis. When I was telling you that all the states were below $2 a gallon now, Mississippi, $2.28 a gallon. But if you want, you can buy gasoline at $2.33 a gallon. Not in California. Yeah, you have to go to Texas for that one. You can buy gasoline at $3.40 a gallon. Not in Calizuela. That would be Hawaii, right? They get their gasoline from Calizuela. They ship it from Calizuela to Hawaii on ocean tankers. And yes, they pay less in Hawaii than we do in Calizuela. $3.57 is the average of a gallon of gasoline right here in the formerly golden state of Calizuela. $2.63.5 is the national average. Again, $2.63.5, so about 95 cents a gallon more in Calizuela than it is around the rest of the country. Just drives me crazy. But hey, you know something? As long as we keep voting for people that want to raise our prices, raise our taxes, that's what we're going to get. The 10-year Treasury, 1.347 is the yield, up a bit on that one again today. So we'll watch that for you. Seniors might be a little bit happy, those who are invested in the bond. The bond's going down, rates or yields going up. Try and figure this one out. If you could figure out what the heck is going on with COVID now, you're a better person than I am. I listen to these experts, or so-called experts. So we hear on one sentence that about 12% of the U.S. population has been vaccinated. About 35% of the U.S. population has had the virus, one form or another. Severe, maybe not so severe, but they've had it. And that 35, 12, 47%. By the end of April, they say that we should have herd immunity. Herd immunity. That basically means that people will still get it, but we're going to be on the stronger side. We're going to be on the recovery side of the virus. But then you hear Dr. Fauci saying that we'll probably be wearing masks into 2022. Really?
Nothing like a little air superiority.
Now, if you've been watching Ron Siegel Radio for any length of time, if you've been listening to Ron Siegel Radio for any length of time, I am not a Fauci fan. I don't believe in half the things he says. Good morning, Leanne. Glad to have you with us this morning. If you're checking in with us, go ahead and just make a comment in our chats. We can actually see who is there. So nice to see you with us. But I'm not a fan of Dr. Fauci, right? How many times has he given conflicting information? Just heard of a new one now. So I've been telling you about the problems that are probably attributable to him during the years of HIV when there was a generic drug that was found to be successful. Fauci said there was no proof until 2 years after the brand name pharmaceutical came out. Yeah, you make more money on those pharmaceuticals, so I think Fauci's in the hip pocket of the pharmaceutical companies. Ebola. Fauci said quarantine doesn't work. COVID. Fauci says 14 days to flatten the curve. What are we supposed to believe? He's supposed to know what he's doing. Highest paid person in the United States government, makes more money than the president of the United States. And that's the type of information that we get from the world famous, all-knowing,
Nothing like a little air superiority.
Dr. Fauci. I just throw that out there for you. You make the decision. You tell me what you think. If you've got a comment on it, hey, go ahead and put it right there in the chat. Or you can reach me anytime. You know all the sources where you can find me. Hey, let's take a look and see what else is going on in the world right now. So we've got, legal battles for Governor Cuomo. That's a new one. So some legal experts, I am not one of the legal experts, warn New York Governor Cuomo's nursing home scandal may rise to the federal level of a criminal offense. Legal experts are warning that New York Governor Cuomo's alleged undercounting of nursing home deaths amid the COVID-19 pandemic could be criminal. Well, if it was your parents or grandparents or in-laws that were one of the seniors who died because of Cuomo's orders, yeah, that could be criminal. If the federal government was making policy based on numbers that were coming out of the most populous city in the country, New York City, and the governor there was fabricating numbers, yeah, that could be a problem. So we'll see what comes of this in a Democrat administration. I don't know if we're going to hear anything. I'm just telling you the way I see it. My opinions, I just throw them out there because listen to the nightly news. I was listening to the news channels late yesterday. Do you know, other than maybe one or two, none of the local channels share the information about herd immunity being so soon. Why? Do you think anybody's talking about the new stimulus package that maybe we don't really need? I know there's certain individuals that need help, but as the size of this package, we've got $1 trillion that haven't been spent that's already been allocated. But why do we want this one? Yeah, it's the hidden earmarks that are in there. The pork. Yeah, that's in there because money going to the states that have the highest rate of unemployment. Should I give you a couple seconds to tell me where one of those states are, where two of those states are? Yeah, you probably don't need the whole time on that one. You probably know that Venezuela has high rates of unemployment, so they would be getting a lot of that money. New York, high rate of unemployment, they get a lot of that money. Illinois, high rate of unemployment, they get a lot of that money. Florida, they all went back to work, they don't get the money. What are we giving the incentive for people to do? Not work? So I just report this stuff for you. You know, you make your own decisions, but if that's what's in the bill, why are they doing it that way? Hey, how'd you like to be on that Boeing 777? Looking for a great trip to Hawaii, leaving Denver, and you start seeing parts of the plane's engine falling. That wouldn't be too exciting. I'm not a fan of flying anyway. But that one might not be the best thing to do. That might be a little bit nerve-wracking, if I might say so myself. So did you hear Chuck Schumer this morning? I found this one, another one that was a real crazy.
Like a little land superiority.
So Texas has the largest amount of renewable energy of any state in the country. And we saw what happened in Texas over the last few days when the wind turbines couldn't move because it froze. Now, I know I heard one report that said this happened back in the 80s. I heard another report that it's been 100 years, so I'm not sure which it is. I didn't research it myself. But they want to go to more renewables. Now, we're here in Venezuela. Last summer when it was so hot, do you remember rolling blackouts? Right? We didn't take care of getting enough power, and we keep pushing toward renewables here in Venezuela. Now, I'm all for saving the environment. I've told you before that climate change policy, not climate change policy is nothing more than a ruse to tax people more, right? It's an idea to how do you tax people? Hide the tax. Gas tax, right? Taxes on oil, right? When you're taxing those things, higher prices on oil. Who feels that the most, right? You think about all the things that oil affects. I've shared this with you before. No one else wants to talk about this. I'll share it to you. But here's the issue. Oil affects all these different items, and no one wants to share with you everything that you get that's trucked to you. Oil. Everything that you see in your house that's made of plastic, kitchenware, utensils, toys, oil, right? Who's paying more for that? It's more the working person, right? They're the ones that are paying more. Gasoline, gas tax, gas prices increase. They don't want to say, they come up with this line, pay your fair share, right? Well, pay your fair share is great, but why don't you be honest about it? I just throw that out there to you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, got a great broadcast lined up for you. When love goes wrong, your credit during divorce. Where have all the houses gone? How to make sure your credit ready to buy a home. And of course, we've got a featured home brought to you by my favorite lender, .net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home, Geneva, they've got a program. It's a great program. It's a down payment assistance program. Think about that. If somebody will help you make your down payment, would you be ready to buy a house? Very minimal amount of money coming out of your pocket, so it would make good sense for you to do it, or at least explore it. Geneva, they've got the programs for you. So what is happening in the markets today? Well, I've told you a little bit about some of the markets I shared with you. The Dow Jones now up 61 points. Wow. The NASDAQ, that one's now down 240 points. That is painful. S&P 500 down 22 points. The 10-year Treasury flat. Mortgage-backed securities going the wrong way. They're down 27 basis points. Not good news. So why is all of that happening? Well, not a lot of news today, but this week is going to be very, very busy. We got housing data, the Fed's favorite measure of inflation, the PCE. We've got a lot of that coming out. Right now we're looking at some technical areas of the bonds. All that's causing these issues to happen. And we're also watching what's going on in the markets, right? With all the volatility in the stock market, that's having a lot to do with it. We watch and see what's going on. A lot of the items that are happening within the bonds or the NASDAQ has a lot to do or very heavily controlled by two basic stocks. Microsoft down $8 a share, $7.94 is the exact amount. Ow! Apple down, that one's down 3 and change. Those two stocks, both part of the NASDAQ, driving that down. They're not helping the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Boeing hurting the industrial average. So watching all of those things going on right now, it is a bit painful. So I'm just telling you, watch what's going on. And as I've shared with you in the past, it's much more important for you, if you're thinking about a new home loan, contemplate where the loan is at the end of the process, not at the beginning of the process. That's going to be your key, because I have some people that say, you know something, just as soon as you get a new loan, it's the idea is just go get it locked. And I say, okay, but what if the loan drops between the time you get that loan, close that and close that loan? Well, some people say, well, just wait until the last minute. No. You need somebody that's watching the markets, that understands the markets, minimizes the risk. Nobody can time the markets perfectly. I'm going to tell you that right off. Even with as much as we watch it, as much as we know it, as much as we've done over the years, I'm going to tell you firsthand right here, right now, nobody can time the markets perfectly. But you can use some level of experience to try and forecast what's going to happen. And that's where the focus has to be when you're dealing with some of these markets, when you're dealing with some of the programs that are out there. So I just wanted to share that with you, because it is something that not a lot of people talk about. Not a lot of people want to understand. They don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of the markets, because, quite frankly, most of them just don't understand, right? So if they don't understand the markets, then how do they share with you? How do they educate with you when you're at a Fibonacci level? And I don't want you to understand that. You don't need to worry about that. That's what our team at Geneva Financial does. But if you don't understand those, if you don't have a basic understanding of some of the terms, then you can be left in the cold. So I just throw that out there for you. One of the other ones that I want to share with you, because it's one that doesn't always get talked about a lot, is the difference between your down payment and cash to close. So I have people say, well, I've got a $500,000 house, 10% down, $50,000. That's what I've got to go to the closing table with. But what about the expenses of closing? So the difference between the amount of money that you're bringing to the escrow, to the transaction, in form of a down payment, and the total that you're told to bring. Right? So there's your is expenses. It could be interim interest. It could be setting up an impound account for real estate taxes. If you're buying a house, it might be your initial insurance payment. All of these things are there. If it's not a financed expense like FHA, you've got an upfront mortgage insurance premium on FHA. So if you've got that in place, if you're getting an FHA loan, you always have that upfront mortgage insurance premium. But in most instances, that is financed. So that's not going to be in the cash to close. Appraisal fees, title, escrow, any lender fees, government transfer fees, again, interim interest. Those are all items that get thrown into the escrow. So you take all of the cost of the purchase of the property, plus the prepaids. That'll be prepaid interest, prepaid taxes, prepaid insurance, starting the new insurance policy. If taxes haven't been paid, you have to put that in there. Title, escrow, all third-party fees, lender fees. Add that all together with the cost of the property. You're going to come out with a number. Let's say it's $540,000. And you said that you're going to put 5% down on that $500,000 house. That's $25,000. but you gave a $5,000 earnest money deposit. Right, so you had $540, and you've got a loan that's coming for $475, right? Because you said you're going to put down five. There was a $500,000 purchase price with 5% down. So you got a loan for $475. The difference from $475 up to $540 is how much money you have to bring into escrow. Now, you subtract your earnest money deposit. So if you did $5,000, that was what, $65,000 less 5. So now you've got to bring in $60,000. That's called cash to close. That's your cash to close. So just a term for you to know, because as people are going out and getting into the home buying season, which it's not as much nowadays. We don't have as much of seasons anymore in Southern California, right? In the East, when it's snowing out, people aren't really wanting to go look at new houses. People aren't wanting to show their houses. But in Southern California, we don't worry about snow. It very rarely rains here. So we go out and buy whenever we're ready to. But that's a key component that's missed many, many times. So we don't want you to miss those things. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. We like you to be educated on all things real estate and real estate finance, home finance. When we come back, when love goes wrong, your credit during a divorce, how to make sure you're credit ready to buy a house. What if all the house is gone and 3 reasons we're definitely not in a housing bubble, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. No longer on Twitter at Ron Siegel. But if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there's an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home, again, before someone else finds it. So I'm trying to get share a little bit of a tool on here for you, or a chart on here for you. See if I can find that thing, because we've got a good chart to share with you today. You know, the sometimes trying to get the chart showing up is not always the easiest process when you're trying to share the real-time real estate segment. But the question is where have all the houses gone? That's what I want to know. So where are they? Today's housing market, it seems harder than ever to find a home to buy. Before the health crisis hit us, there was already a shortage of homes for sale when many homeowners delayed their plans to sell at the same time that more buyers aim to take advantage of record low mortgage rates and purchase a home. Housing inventory dropped even further. Experts consider this to be the biggest challenge facing an otherwise hot market, while buyers continue to compete for homes. As Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com, explains, quote, with buyers active in the market and seller participation lagging, homes are selling quickly and the total number available for sale at any point in time continues to drop lower. In January as a whole, the number of for-sale homes dropped below 600,000 units. Ow! Every month, Realtor.com releases new data showing the year-over-year change in inventory of existing homes for sale. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our social channels, or the AM 1490 KMET ABC News and Talk video feed, you see a chart right now showing the change in housing inventory compared to this time last year. As a whole, the United States is down 42.6%. Venezuela down 36.6%. Wow. Does this mean that houses aren't being put on the market for sale? Not exactly. While there are fewer existing homes being listed right now, many homes are simply selling faster than they're being counted as current inventory. The market is that competitive. It's like when everyone was trying to find toilet paper to buy last spring and it was flying off the shelves faster than it could be stocked in the stores. That's what's happening in the housing market. Homes are being listed for sale, but not at a rate that can keep up with the heavy demand from competitive buyers. In the same report, Realtor.com, Hale explains, quote, time on the market was 10 days faster than last year, meaning that buyers still have to make decisions quickly in order to be successful. Today's buyers have many tools to help them do that, including the ability to be notified as soon as homes meeting their search criteria hit the market. By tailoring search and notifications to the homes that are a solid match, buyers can act quickly and compete successfully in this faster-paced housing market. The good news for homeowners, the health crisis has been a major reason why potential sellers have held off this long. But as vaccines become more widely available, homeowners will start making their moves. Sally Wolf, chief economist at Zonda, she confirms with a quote, some people will feel comfortable listing their home during the first half of 2021. Others will want to wait until the vaccines are widely distributed, unquote. With more homeowners getting ready to sell later this year, putting your house on the market sooner rather than later is the best way to make sure your listing shines brighter than the rest. When you're ready to sell your house, you'll likely want to sell quickly for the best price, little to no hassle. If you're looking for those selling conditions, you'll find them in today's market. When demand is high, inventory low, sellers have the ability to create optimal terms and timelines for the sale, making now an exceptional time to move. And if you were watching us or listening to us on Ron Siegel Radio last week, you heard us talking about a non-distressed real estate auction. Think about that. You want to figure out how to get the most money for your property? Put it up for auction. Get a lot of people there. Get a lot of people bidding. Get that fear of missing out. Do it the right way, though. You got to market the property properly. You got to get a lot of people to come and visit the property. When you get the property put up for sale, when there's a lot of people there, and remember, they've done all their due diligence, right? So if they've done all of their due diligence, because there's already a home inspection, a natural hazard report, a title report, all of the disclosures, it's all done in advance. So if that's the case, and you have all those things ready, if it's all available for you, you can be comfortable in knowing what you're buying. Now, is it going to be a great deal? I don't know. But if you're the seller, you are going to get the best value, because that auction goes off with no contingencies. So when it's done, the gavel comes down, you're done. You know what you're going to get. You're not going to be getting all of the renegotiations after the fact. It's going to be it should be a much simpler, cleaner process for you. And that's what you really want, isn't it? I just throw that out there to see what you think. And how do you make sure you're credit ready to buy that house? For many people, buying a home, one of the most significant financial commitments they'll ever make. While most interest rates are low compared with other types of credit, even a small difference can cost you tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Your FICO scores are a crucial consideration for mortgage lenders, and having good credit long before you start house hunting will help improve your odds of scoring a low interest rate and maximize your savings. Having good FICO scores is especially important in a seller's market, which the coronavirus pandemic has created in several areas. Housing inventory had already reached record lows before the pandemic, but as demand has risen over the past year, inventory, I told you, remained especially low in the seller's market like these. Having a better chance of securing financing could give you a leg up on other buyers whose credit histories not quite as good. So here's some of the steps to get ready for a mortgage. Number one, you need an excellent FICO scores and credit. That's important. If you're hoping to buy a house in the next year or two, taking certain steps now can make a big difference and help you obtain affordable financing. 5 areas to focus your efforts. Number one, pay down debts. If your credit utilization rate is your credit utilization rate is one of the most influential factors in your FICO score, about 30% of the score. It represents how much of your available or revolving credit, like credit cards, that you're using at a given time. The higher your balances are relative to your credit limits, the more it can damage your credit. Good news, your credit utilization is recalculated every time your credit card companies report your new balance, which typically happens once a month. So if you pay down a credit card with a high utilization rate, your FICO score may reflect that quickly thereafter. Another reason to pay down debts in general is because your debt-to-income ratio, often called DTI for short. Your DTI represents the percentage of your gross monthly income that goes toward debt payments. Mortgage lenders typically have minimum standards for what your DTI can be, but the lower it is, the better. Number two, get those past due payments off your report. Get them caught up. Your payment history is the most important factor of the score. So if you remember, I just told you utilization is about 30%. Credit history is 35%. Negative items will remain on your credit report for 7 years. unless you talk to our friend Jeff Sipes over at Blue Water Credit, and he identifies some legal issue with the way it's being reported. While you can't fix the past, getting current on your accounts can help prevent further harm that could put your mortgage chances in jeopardy. As you work to get caught up on late payments, also make it a goal to pay all your debts on time going forward. Over time, a positive payment history can help reduce the impact of past late payments. Number 3, limit large purchases. Even if you're paying off your credit card in full every month, a high balance on the date your credit card reports account activity to the credit bureaus may result in a high credit utilization rate. As a result, it's best to avoid large purchases on your credit card if possible. Also note that making large purchases and paying them off will result in lower cash reserves, which is another factor that lenders may consider. So what do you do there? Call the credit card company or go online to your credit card, find out what the statement closing date is, and if you've got some large balances, pay as much as you can before the statement closing date. That way when they report, your balance is as low as possible. Make sure, number 4, to check your credit for inaccuracies. I've been looking at credit reports many decades now. I'm into the 4th decade. Whew. Considering how much data credit bureaus maintain for hundreds of millions of consumers, inaccuracies are there. I've never seen a credit report that's completely accurate. Never, ever. But maybe it'll happen eventually. It's always good practice to check your FICO scores and credit reports regularly to know where you stand and make adjustments as needed. But another reason to review your credit reports is to watch for inaccurate or fraudulent accounts and information. Credit bureaus have a process to dispute errors. They'll investigate the issue to determine whether or not to remove it from your report. If you can get a negative item removed through the error disputing process, it might have an immediate impact on your FICO scores. Don't use the button on there that says to correct your credit. What you want to do is mail a dispute in. Yes, U.S. snail mail. Include a copy of a recent utility bill so they know it's you, a copy of your driver's license so they know it's you. And make sure you do that return receipt requested so you know that it gets there. Avoid new credit several months before you plan to apply. A mortgage loan isn't just a big commitment for you. It's a big commitment for the lender, too. As such, anything you do that could increase the chances that you default on the loan could hurt your chances of getting a low interest rate or even getting approved at all. Applying for a new credit card or loan in the months leading up to your mortgage application won't likely make a huge dent in your FICO score, but it can increase your debt-to-income ratio and leave less money in your budget to make future payments. As always, I recommend myfico.com. Myfico.com. No, I don't get paid from them. I pay them to watch my credit scores. When we come back, I'm going to talk to you about other ways to help ensure a low rate on your loan. We've also got that featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime or off air. Number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, The team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL number 018694552.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Let's see if we can get this on the screen for you folks, and we'll show you about this property, tell you about the words eye view of this property is what we're really looking for. Yeah, I love that words eye view. Do you remember, for those of you that are old enough to remember the days of Chickern, right? Chickern used to have the words eye view of a Laker game. Not that I am in anywhere in the same league as the great Chickern, but I do share that. I have a passion for the Lakers. But hey, we've got the featured home again. It's brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Let's see if I can get that app on the screen to talk to you about it. There it is. Who's got the property? Who's got the listing? Robert LaBianca. Yes, indeed. Robert. Yeah, Robert's a great real estate professional out there in the Coachella Valley. So if you ever need a great professional out there, Robert is your man. 78919 Savannah Lamar Drive. It's in Bermuda Dunes, 92203. 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. It's got affordable. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I already said that. Loft, 3-car garage, RV parking, very large lot, pool, spa, upgrades in the kitchen and bathrooms, ample closet and storage space. Oh, must see. $469,000 is the price on this property from our friend Robert LaBianca. Hey, put 3.5% down. You're looking at a principal and interest payment of $1,819 a month, $1,820 a month. 20% down, $1,582 a month. 25% down, $1,390 a month. For those of you who are keeping score, APR of 3.559, APR of 3.075, APR of 2.734, NMLS 217037. Got to keep the compliance people happy. They're the ones that are always looking for this information. Again, Featured Home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net, 78919 Savannah Lamar Drive in Bermuda Dunes. Robert LaBianca, he's the man. So before the break, we were chatting a little bit about, if I can find my notes here, ways to ensure a lower down payment on your home. That's what we're looking for. Your FICO scores, that's a crucial element in the mortgage underwriting process, but it's not the only factor that the lenders do consider. In addition to having a good FICO score, some of the other things you can do, make a large down payment. The more money you put down on your home, the less you need to borrow from a lender. A larger down payment not only reduces your monthly payment, but also represents less risk to the lender, which could result in a lower interest rate. So if you go to myfavoritelender.net, there's a great calculator right there that'll show you how the effect of the down payment. Again, myfavoritelender.net. They've got that for you. You can buy a cheaper home in conjunction with a large down payment. Opting for a less expensive home could help you score a lower rate. In general, mortgage lenders like your housing cost to be, they'd like it at 28%, but I'm going to tell you, you can go up to 40, 43, 44, depending upon other factors. If you go lower, though, it can make your loan more affordable. Shop around. There are strategies, and I've shared this with you many, many times. If you've been watching Ron Siegel Radio for more than a day or two, you know that I say strategy beats rate always. And that's why even if you listen to that featured home I just told you about, right, on the lowest pricing, where I shared with you that home was $1,390 a month, principal and interest. Yes, you have to add your insurances and tax and all that good stuff. But the APR there was 2.734. Well, if you're going to thinking about putting down, now in this case, I look at it, and not a lot of people have $117,000 to put down, but if you're selling your home in Orange County, retiring, going to Bermuda Dunes, great place, by the way. So you've got some money there, and you're putting a larger down payment down. If you use the right strategy, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck by buying the interest, right? So if you buy that interest down a little bit, you get more bang for your buck, and it works out better for you. Think about that part of it. Not everybody wants to understand that. They say, I'm not buying down the interest, Ron. I would never do that. Oh, okay, so put the money into your equity and get no benefit for it. Does that make sense to you? I'm going to tell you, I don't think so. So here's the issue. If that's not going to make sense, what does make sense? The right strategy. So if you go and you buy that down a little bit, you're going to get a better benefit. So the discount points allow you to exchange upfront cash for a better interest rate. Each point costs 1% of the mortgage amount, typically reduces your interest rate by 1/8. But again, think about that, because if we bought that down on this particular loan, you're saving $200 a month, $2,400 a year, $72,000 over the life of the loan, because you understood the strategy. Now, if you're not going to be there for a long time, then the strategy goes the other way. We might say, let's get a higher interest rate and use the interest rate to pay some of the costs of the loan, and we take a benefit that way. That's why strategy beats rate always. Again, throughout the mortgage process, take your time, understand what's going on, and that's why I need you to understand this strategy. Getting the best rate, there's no such thing as the best rate. First off, the best rate for you. The commercials, dumb, because they don't know you. They don't know your situation. I just went through 10 minutes of items that are going to affect your interest rate. Do you think any of that's going to be discussed on those commercials? It's in that fine print at the very end that nobody can see, right? That's the whole idea. And, that's your friends at Ron Siegel Radio, just sharing good information with you. When love goes wrong, your credit during divorce. Your credit may be the last thing on your mind when you're going through a divorce, but you'll thank yourself later for making an effort to think about your credit during this time. Getting a divorce is often painful, not just for the obvious reasons as you navigate the complicated emotions of the breakup. There are some logistical matters you should manage as well. It might not be the first thing that comes to mind, but even when you go through a divorce with a spouse, you should continue to educate yourself and take steps to stay on top of your credit. Divorce doesn't have to have a direct impact on FICO scores. Neither does getting married. Yet separating the debts and finances you once shared with a spouse can have an impact on your credit in a significant way. On a positive note, it's possible to go through a divorce and emerge on the other side with little or no impact to your credit. So we're going to give you some tips. Number one, check your credit. And again, I'm not giving anybody legal advice. This is just educational information. No legal advice, no financial guidance, right? I'm not a tax guy. I'm not a CPA. Just a guy that understands some of these things. Check your credit report, myfico.com, myfico.com. And I don't have time to get into the rest of them, but we'll talk more about that tomorrow because I ask you to set that first radio preset button to join us every day on Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.